إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. The seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the biography, the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his companions, requires a way to read it. You have to learn to read it with your heart before your eyes, with your soul before your eyes, and with your heart and soul and mind, then you start to read it. Al-Bahij al-Khuli is a Muslim scholar who died 25 years ago. I'm going to share with you a small paragraph where he describes the way we should read the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, you should accompany the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as you read the seerah. You accompany him with your heart, with your soul. It's as if you exist in the place that you are reading. You can feel that you are in the place where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is. When he sits in a place, you are among the people who are accompanying him. When he is riding his horse, you are riding a horse next to him. As he walks down the alleys and the streets with his companions, you are with them. You can almost hear his speech in your own ears. And slowly and gradually, you can hear his supplications, whether in the night or in the day. Your emotions run so high that you could almost feel the heartbeats of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can feel it when he is angry. You can feel it when he is happy. And you can feel it when he smiles. You can feel it as he walks among the ranks of Muslims. You are with them. As people around him and the Prophet Muhammad with them. As they suffer, you suffer with them. As they feel the pain, you feel the pain with them. As they migrate, you migrate with them. With your mind, with your soul, with your emotions, you migrate with them. All over the world as they conquer. And when jihad comes, you can see yourself riding a horse, holding the flag of Muslims. And you could see the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ riding his horse, and he is wearing the shield of war and the armor of war, and he has his sword on him as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is holding his sword. You could see his face, you could see his eyes beyond the shield that covers the face. He is the leader in the battlefield. He is the leader of the knights who are fighting the enemy. You can see his eyes from under the shield. No matter mountain he goes up to, or a valley he goes down, you are with him. Whatever the the enemy suffers from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, you are among them, you could almost feel the beating that is taking place in the war and the contact between the Muslim army and the Kafir army, you could feel it. The clashes among them. You could feel the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and sense as he ventures into the enemy's lines and you are with him to protect him. You try to protect the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ with all what you have. And you try to protect him with your body, with your soul, with your heart, and with your emotions. End of the statement. The Imam Zahri said, we used to teach our children the wars of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In teaching them, you will get the knowledge of this life and the hereafter. They made sure that the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is hand in hand memorized with the Quran. Ali ibn Husam radiallahu anhu said, we used to teach the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his journeys the same way we teach Quran. Ismail ibn Mohammad ibn Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, he said, my father used to teach us about the words of the Prophet Muhammad, and he used to ask us questions to make sure that we understand every single details about it. And he used to tell us, my son, this is the heritage of your forefathers. Do not waste it and do not forget it. Thabit al-Banani mentioned that Anas ibn Malik, he said to Anas ibn Malik, because Anas ibn Malik was able to see the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Thabit al-Banani used to tell him, give me your eyes that saw the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam so I can kiss them. Al-Muqdad ibn al-Aswad one day was sitting and he saw a man passing by, and that man was among the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Al-Muqdad was not there at that time. So he said, lucky those eyes that saw the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I wish I had the opportunity to see him the same way you saw him, and I'll be a witness the same way you witnessed him. Abda bint Khalid ibn Ma'dan, she said, whenever my father went to his bed, he would remember how excited he wants to meet the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Muhajirin and Ansar. And he used to call them, he said, they are from me and I am from them. To them my heart throbs and excited to meet them. I'm so excited for the day when Allah will give me the opportunity to be with them. O Allah Almighty, gather me with them. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين. Rabi' ibn Ka'b said, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came one day and told me, ask me, you shall get. I said to him, Ya Rasulullah, give me a chance to think about something, so I will ask you. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told him, you can do that. Rabi'a said, I started thinking, everything in this life is going to end. Therefore, I don't see anything in this life I can ask for it because it is going to end. So I went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet Muhammad said to me, so what is your request? I said, Ya Rasulullah, ask Allah Almighty to protect me from hellfire. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at him and said, who told you that? He said, no one. But Ya Rasulullah, I thought about it and I realized if I would ask anything about this life is going to end with the people in it. So there's no sense of asking about anything in this life. So that's why I thought of something in the hereafter. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, help me in performing sujood. That is, increase the nafil prayers, the extra prayers. Your forehead should be on the ground to perform sujood. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the happiest people with my prayers to be spared from hellfire are the ones who say La ilaha illallah and they are honest and sincere in their hearts. Jabir radiallahu anhu mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, if you hear the call for adhan, say as the mu'adhin says, and as he finishes the adhan, say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallayta ala Sayyid Ibrahim wa ala Sayyid Ibrahim. Allahumma rabba hadhihi ad-da'wa at-tamma wa salat al-qa'imah. In the meaning of it, O Allah Almighty, we seek that your mercy be upon the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and you raise him in the place in heaven that is designated for him and him only. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, because I want to be in that place. And he said, if you say this after the adhan, you will get my prayers, that you will be protected from hellfire. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever says Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammad 10 times in the day, in the morning, and 10 times in the evening, he will be granted my sisters. To summarize what I mentioned to you, there are external factors and internal factors to reach out into the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. In the first part of the khutbah, I was explaining about the internal elements that you have in yourself to react to the seerah. As I mentioned to you, when you read the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, you don't read it with your eyes, you read it with your heart and emotions. And as Bahir Khuli explained it in a marvelous paragraph that I told you about, is that you transfer yourself into the text, into the Arab. 1400 years ago, you are among them. And as you read and you can feel yourself in that era, you are attached to the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and therefore your emotions will flow, and therefore you will get the benefits of reading it, the knowledge of this life and the hereafter. Your spirits will be high, your emotions will be high, your leadership skills will be high. You will learn all the lessons of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. When you do not read the seerah, you read it. You do not read it like a newspaper. You read it because you want the emotions to flow between you and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. This is the internal. The external factors are what I mentioned in the second half of this khutbah that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us about. When you remind yourself about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Nabiyyina Muhammad, you say 10 times in the day and 10 times in the night. At the same time, after the adhan, you ask Allah Almighty to put the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in the highest place in the heaven. And you ask Allah Almighty to bless the Prophet Muhammad and protect him. This is another external factor. The third factor is that the sujood that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, if you want to reach that level, you should perform more nafil. That is, your face is on the floor, on the ground, performing sujood. These factors together, external and internal, will strengthen your iman, will strengthen your faith. Then there is a reaction between you and the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So all of the teachings of our ancestors, of our rich history of Islam, what made the Muslim nation so strong will come to you, and you will become a unique person. Think of this. If you have gone through this, tell me, would your reading of the Quran be the same or not? Would your reaction of the Quran be the same as it is nowadays or not? If you reacted with seerah, now wasn't the seerah, the Quran was revealed throughout the seerah? So when you read the Quran, will your reading of the Quran be the same? It will never be the same. What if when you read the tafsir of the Quran, and in your background you lived these circumstances in your heart and your soul, do you think you will forget about the tafsir of the Quran or the revelation of the ayah of the Quran? I'll take it one step further. If you were able to achieve both of them, would you ever be bored from reading the Quran? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said it plainly. He said, if your hearts are pure, you will never get tired from reading the Quran. That's it. That is it. The minute there is a reaction, you can never stop. And that explains why when you read about the lifetime of the Sahaba and the Tabi'een, when they mentioned that they used to pray so many hours at night and finish so much in the Quran, because he's not reading it as a text. There's a relationship, there's an emotion. He can see himself living in that era, living in the circumstances, living in the features, in the verses, with the prophets that are mentioned in the Quran, because you were part of that experience. So you live it, you can see yourself. That's when the treasures of the Quran and the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad start flowing in your heart and your soul. And that was has changed people from being ordinary people at the time of the Prophet Muhammad to be the masters of this earth, and their names are mentioned till the day of judgment. I ask Allah Almighty what I have said, that we all apply these principles. And I ask Allah Almighty to give us the ability to react with the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad and therefore to react with the Quran, and then to react with the prayers itself, and raise our levels to the levels, the highest place where we can meet the Prophet Muhammad and his companions. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا. اللهم يسر لنا القرآن. اللهم ارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل والنهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا يا ربنا. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم انصر اخواننا المجاهدين في كل مكان. اللهم احفظ أبناءنا وبناتنا وزوجاتنا ومن حولنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم في هذا اليوم الشريف المبارك، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم في هذا اليوم المبارك يا رب العالمين. اللهم زينا بزينة الإيمان واجعلنا هداة المهتدين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.